morning, guys. For today's lesson, types of orchard farm and sources of fruit-bearing trees. For our milk, conduct a survey to identify the following types of orchard farms, trees appropriate for orchard gardening based on location, climate, and market demands. Then, proper way of planting and propagating trees and fruit-bearing trees, like for example, budding, marketing, and grafting. And the third is the sources of fruit-bearing trees, and then how to care for seedlings, prepares layout design of an orchard garden using the information gathered. Okay, so here is the picture. What did you observe in the picture? Okay, so you observe varied kinds of vegetables and fruits. So, where we can find this kind of varied fruits and vegetables? So, as you can see, it is located in a mall or convenience store. So, it is said that have you been to a supermarket recently? So, we are amazed of the different fruits found in the fruit and vegetable section. So, have you ever wondered where are all those fruits coming from? So, most probably those fruits come from a local orchard. Like for example, here in our community, here in Cavite, so city of Imus. So orchards abound in the countryside where the mangoes, bananas, jackfruit, guava, santol, and many other tropical fruits grow. So in this lesson, you will know the types of orchard farms and the trees appropriate for orchard gardening, that based in the location, climate, market demands, proper way of planting, propagating trees, and fruit-bearing trees, and then sources of fruit-bearing trees and how to care seedlings and prepares layout design of an orchard using information gathered. So, an orchard is a piece of land where the trees or shrubs are maintained for food or commercial production. So likewise, an orchard features big gardens for aesthetic and productive purposes. Orchards are often concentrated near a water source. Orchard owners mostly concentrate on a species of trees. So there are types of orchards. First is the fruit orchards. So when we talk about fruit orchards, it includes facility focused in growing tree-bearing trees or tree-bearing fruits. So like citrus trees, lemons, limes, oranges may be grown all together in a large citrus orchards or individually in a smaller facilities. So plantations that grow fruit-bearing trees bushes generally don't fall under this category. So this includes fruits nuts grown on trees, example of fruit orchard, banana plantation, mango plantation, citrus calamansi plantation, and durian plantation. Second is the nut orchards. So when we talk about nut orchards, it includes a large variety of facilities that produce nut-bearing trees. So this includes popular nuts like cashew, walnuts, and almonds. So this category also includes cocoa and chocolate product producing nuts as well as coconuts. So some orchards owners produce pine trees for their edible cashew nuts. Next, number 3 is the seed orchard. So when we talk about seed orchard, It is focused primarily on growing trees that produce seeds rather than nuts or fruits. So these seeds are then sold to the commercial distributors for resale to the public in a small seed packets. So they may also be sold to a large agricultural facilities or used for food production. Seed orchards can be further be divided into two categories based on how they are established. In seedling orchard, trees are selected through controlled pollination. In a clonal seed orchard, seeds are distributed through methods such as cutting and tissue culture, resulting in an easier harvest overall. Trees suited for orchard gardening based on. So as you see in the picture, it is based on the location. So like for example, hillside, sloping area, in the valley, plains. So mostly coconut, mango, durian, banana, and jackfruit are suit for this kind of location. So including papala doon yung mga cashew, papaya, citrus, star apple, pili nut, palm tree, mangosteen, dragon fruit, santol, palm tree, pili nut, and coconut. So those are the kinds of fruits that's suited for that particular location. So for climate, elevated lowly, warm and dry season or wet season. So when we talk about wet season, it is commonly cold. So the temperature is always cold, no? So the kinds of plants that suited for this kind of temperature or climatic condition is are the grapes, mango, banana, star apple, durian, coconut, and pili nut. Guava, banana, pomelo, banana, palm tree, papaya, mango, guava, and dragon fruit. And also durian. So for the market demand, mostly banana, citrus, jackfruit, santol, mango, dragon fruit, guava, coconut, and star apple are mabili sa market, no, commonly. Then there are proper way of propagating trees and fruit trees, of course. We mentioned in the first slide that there are different way of propagating trees and fruit trees. So first is the budding. So when we talk about budding, it is the process by which a scion with a bud is inserted into the rootstock to unite and grow as one. So it is done by choosing and cutting a bud from one plant and attaching it to another plant. So the bud must fit well to the mother plant. When the bud grows big enough, it will become part of the plant. Second is the grafting method. So grafting method is a new plant is grown by inserting a scion into the stock so that they will be form a union and grow together. So the scion and the rootstock should come from the same species or family. They should be compatible for them to grow permanently. So the good example of this method is durian, mango, mangosteen. For the flowers is San Francisco plants. Next is marketing. So when we talk about marketing or air layering is a propagation method for woody plants that allows you to root branches while still attached to the parent plant. So it is useful for plants that are hard to propagate by cutting. So as you see in the picture, the first step is you're going to cut the stem and then alisin yung bark, then scrape yung yung part, and after that you're going to put the loam soil, then covered with plastic. And after 21 days, makikita nyo na mayroon ng lumalabas na mga roots, and then buhay na yung dinugtog, yung minarkot yun na plants. So that's the time that you're going to cut that part. Okay, for the sources of fruit trees and fruit-bearing trees are available and sold in the different stages of growth and ready to be transplanted. So, of course, first is the commercial nursery. So, commercial nursery run by private individual, usually offering landscaping materials and services. So, sila yung nag-o-offer ng mga landscaping services. Then, the agricultural institution, where it is a school that offers a course related to agriculture and other plant studies. And then, the Department of Agriculture. So, these sources responsible for any agricultural activities in terms of vegetables and fruits. And then the last is the Bureau of Plant Industry that develops scientific improvement for its plant species in locality and adjacent places. Sila po yung nagbibigay ng mga trainings and seminars. So there are ways to care for seedlings. Of course, the first step is always to use fertile soil medium for planting. So you're going to use, when you talk about fertile soil, ito yung matabang lupa na gagamitin para madaling lumaki yung ating mga tanim. Then water the seedlings every morning and afternoon. Then check for the possible pest infestation and apply immediate remediation. So every now and then, you're going to check the status of the plants. Then arrange the seedlings in an organized manner. And then make sure to follow the proper layout of guidelines for a convenient working area. Now, let's move with the consideration in preparing an orchard layout. So first is prepare the land. So when you are going to prepare the land, the first step that you're going to do is to till the soil adequately, but do not over cultivate to the point of destroying the earthworms and other beneficial fungi. Why? Kasi yung mga earthworms and other beneficial fungi ay makakatulong para ma-absorb ng plants yung magagandang nutrients coming from the soil. Sila yung tumutulong. And then, create a planting system. Compute the number of trees to be planted. So, as you see in the picture, there are various planting systems adapted in fruit crops. So, ito yung mga ginagamit ng may mga farms. So, first is the square method, triangular, the king-kangs, the rectangular, the hexagonal, the hedgerow, single and double, and the last one is the contour. Then, establish a greenhouse. This will serve as the nursery of the seedlings. So, makikita nyo dyan sa picture, ganyan po ang mukha ng greenhouse natin. So, doon natin pinapalaki yung tanim para in preparation for transplanting into the area. So, yung mga nakikita yung mga plants diyan, mga kinds of different flowers yan. Flowers. Next, check the soil according to the type. So, the type of the soil will help you to decide what trees to plant. Of course, before we're going to plant any kinds of fruit trees and trees, we're going to done in the soil analysis so that we will know if what particular plants are suited for that particular kind of soil. So there are different types of soil. It is the clay, the silt, the sand, and the loam. Next, number 5, ensure water source and drainage. So this site must have an abundant supply of water and good drainage to ensure availability of air in the soil. Then 6, sufficient sunlight. So the site must be exposed to morning and afternoon sunlight to help maintain the food making process of the plant, or what we call the photosynthesis. Hindi po pwedeng hindi siya ma-expose sa sunlight during morning and late in the afternoon kasi ang sunlight siya yung tumutulong mag-process sa paggawa ng pagkain ng plants. So, ang tawag po sa process na yun is what we call photosynthesis. Then, the number 7 is the availability of fertilizer. Fertilizer is a substance added to the soil to improve the plant health condition. So, yung example na binigay ko dyan sa picture is a kind of organic soil. Why? Organic soil ay walang preservative ingredients na nakakalason sa health ng tao. So, kaya organic soil dahil ito ay makakatulong para magprotekta sa ating kalusugan. So, kung gusto nyong maging malusog lagi, so do not use inorganic fertilizer. Always remember that organic fertilizer is good for our health and also good for the surroundings. Next is the accessibility to make market. The plant site should be near the market and transportation must be available to bring the products to the market. Of course, when we're going to have a farm, be sure that your farm is near from the market para malapit yung pagdidelibera ng inyong mga products. And also, kung malapit sa market, see to it na yung transportation is madali. So, yung road, may road siya na pagdadaanan papunta sa market. Maganda yung road. Hindi lubak-lubak para maiwasan po yung damage ng inyong mga products. So, that's all for today. For your learning task 1, what you're going to do is to write yes if the statement is correct and no if it is incorrect. So, that is 1 up to 5. Then, for learning task 2, what you're going to do is to read the paragraphs with an incomplete sentence below and fill in the blanks with appropriate word. Of course, we already discussed those lessons, no? Those things. Then for your learning task 3, what you're going to do is to give or write down at least 2 examples of trees and fruit-bearing trees suited for the following area. So like for example, sloping area, plain, hillside, and valley area. Then for learning task 4, what you're going to do is to explain. So in a form of explanation. So 1 and 2 questions only. And then for learning task 5 is to choose the letter of the correct answer and write them in your answer sheet. So what you're going to do is to choose the correct letter of the correct answer. So don't forget to write your reflection. Thank you for listening.